Hi everyone, welcome to Python Osmosis, episode 26, the screencast that streamlines your path through Python learning. I'm Ryan Shea, and in this episode we'll be talking about modules. So far, most of the examples that we've been doing have been using the interactive interpreter. But as soon as you leave the interactive interpreter, all of that great namespace that you have is flushed away. The whole symbol table that you've created is gone. So one way that you can keep these things around a little bit more statically is by just creating a script. I'm going to create a script called fibbo.py. And this is going to be our Fibonacci sequence. And if you remember, user bin env python is our shebang in our Python scripts. And for brevity's sake, I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste a couple of different definitions into here. Fib is just going to print to the screen a Fibonacci sequence up to the number that we specify, n. Fib2 is going to take the number that we specify, but it's going to create a list of items that are in the Fibonacci sequence up to that number and return that list. Now notice there's nothing that this script actually does, it just creates the definitions. That's enough for Python to use this as a module. So all I do is go into my interactive interpreter and I can use the import statement. Import fibbo. Notice I didn't say fibbo.py or any funny syntax. I didn't have anything special in my fibbo.py either. Now what I've done is taken the symbol table from fibbo and loaded it into my local namespace. And I can use whos, and I see that fibbo has been loaded, and it's of type module. Fibbo dot, and I can hit tab and I can see what's in there. You see fib and fib2. So now I could call fibbo.fib10, fibbo.fib2, 100, and it actually just works. I didn't have to do anything special, and now I've used that as a module. Let's go back into Python, let's clear everything out, and show you a couple more ways that you can import a module. If you didn't want to pull in everything from fibbo, let's say you just wanted fib, you could say from fibbo import fib. Now rather than having to type fibbo.fib and passing in a number, we've pulled in fib right to our local namespace. We can just say fib 10, fib 100. Now let's say we wanted to pull in fib2. Another way we can import just fib2 is from fibbo import fib2 as, let's say, return fib. Now we've pulled that into our local namespace and called it return fib. So, return fib 100. It acts just like fib2. This is useful if you have a namespace conflict that you know of, yet you want to be able to call the function directly by name. Let's get out of the interpreter again, hop right back in. We've cleared out the namespace. Yet another way of importing modules is by saying from fibbo import star. So this differs from import fibbo in that in import fibbo I'd have to call fibbo.fib or fibbo.fib2 and then the open close parens. In this case I'm saying take everything and import it locally, so now I can call the functions fib directly or fib2. Now the problem with this is it just pulls in everything no matter what, and it could sort of override, it could have a namespace collision. So although this is perfectly fine to do in the interactive interpreter, it's probably not something you're going to want to do in most of your scripts. That's all for now. This screencast is directly inspired by the official Python tutorial by Guido van Rossum at python.org.